If you get shot during the fighting and you see the bleed out icon in the top left, make sure you equip your bandage. So press tab to open your inventory, click on the bandage. You can see that it goes into your third slot. Press 3 to equip the bandage, and without aiming, just hold down the left mouse button and that will start bandaging yourself. Be aware, if you are bandaging yourself or if you have bandaged yourself, it will have stopped the bleeding, but you still need a first aid kit from another medic to heal you. So you just go find another medic, and as you can see that I am being treated right now. And I should be fine now. If you want to be a medic and want to heal other people, you want to have at first a first aid kit. So we come to the relic base, we press E to open the inventory. We click on the cross icon that indicates the medical supplies. We search for the first aid kit, we click on it, and that will start assembling a first aid kit into our backpack. Now, if we press tab to open our inventory and we click on the first aid kit, we can see that it goes into our third slot. And if we tab out of this and we press 3 to equip the first aid kit, we can see in the top left that it says 0/10. That means that currently the first aid kit is empty. So we'll open the stockpile, press E, then we click on the bandage icon and grab some bandages with us. And we look in the top left, it still says 0/10. That is because it hasn't quote unquote reloaded. So if we press 3 to put the first aid kit away and press 3 to pick it up again, we can see that it now says first aid kit 10/10. Now, in order to use a first aid kit, we first need somebody who is bleeding or injured. So SJ Wish kindly volunteered for this, and we can see that he is injured right now. You can see his uniform is all bloody, and if we equip the first aid kit, we walk up to him, we aim at him and hold down the left mouse button. We can see that it says treating, and in the top left we can see that it counts down parts of bandages and that we still have 3/10 bandage left. Another tool you want to have if you are a medic is the trauma kit. So we come to the relic base here, we click on the trauma kit, we can see that it starts assembling, it goes into our backpack, and the same as with a first aid kit, the trauma kit itself doesn't work. We need quote-unquote ammo for it. In this instance, it is blood plasma, so we click on the blood plasma icon. Now, if we tab out and we click on the trauma kit in our inventory, we can see that it goes into our first slot. If we tab out and we press 1, we can see that we equipped our trauma kit, and in the top left we can see that it says trauma kit 1/1, which indicates that it's one use only for one blood plasma. Now we need somebody to be dying so we can revive them, and again, SJ is kind enough to get shot in the face, so we'll do that. And now we see him dying. If you see somebody lying on the floor like this, you press 1 to equip your trauma kit. You make sure that it says 1/1. You walk up to him, and just as with the first aid kit, you aim at him and hold down the left mouse button, and then we can see that it is reviving. And as soon as he's up and revived, we can see that he's still injured, but at least he's not dying anymore. If somebody is down and you are not in a safe environment, you can walk up to them and press E. Then you are carrying the wounded soldier. You can take them to a place where it's safe and wait for another medic. Or if you still have your trauma kit, with the person over your shoulders, you press 1. That will equip your trauma kit and drop the person over your shoulders, and just as normal, you aim at them, hold down the left mouse button and pick them up. And once they're up, you press 3 to equip your first aid kit, aim at them, and patch them up. If we try to carry a lot of medical supplies on our person with our normal infantry battle dress, we can see that it doesn't stack any of the medical supplies. But however, if we go to the town hall and we press E to open the inventory of the town hall, and we go to the uniforms tab and we select the physician's jacket, we press E to get out of this menu, press tab to open our inventory. If we now click on the physician's jacket, we can see that it goes to our uniform slot. We put the normal uniform back in the town base. Now if we come to the ambulance and we grab our first aid kit and we grab blood plasma, we can see that blood plasma stacks up to 5 per slot, and for bandages it is the same thing. It is 5 per slot, so we can take so much more with us if we use the medic's uniform. If we now press tab to go in, double tap to get into our inventory, we equip the first aid kit and the trauma kit. We make sure that they are reloaded, and we open the ambulance again. We can see that we can stack up on medical supplies quite a lot. In the garage, when it is researched, we can build ambulances. So if we come to the garage and we look in the production panel and we select Dune Responder 3E, that is the Warden ambulance, and we walk up to it and we have 150 basic materials in our backpack. We can hammer them into the ambulance. We just hop in the driver's seat and drive it out of the garage, and if we're lucky, there is a fuel truck nearby. We press Q to hop out, press E to open the inventory of the ambulance, and if we go to the actions panel and hit the refuel diesel, we can see that it is refuel our ambulance. Besides having a decent on-road and decent off-road speed, the ambulance also sports a very nice siren. If you left click, you can hear the siren. These are not the two only upsides to having an ambulance. Another upside of having the ambulance is inventory management. So if we hop into the truck, we press E to open the stockpile of this town base, and we try to stack first aid kits by shift clicking and pulling them into our truck. We can see that once it's done assembling, we have 3 separate slots being taken up by 3 separate first aid kits. The same goes for trauma kits. And for blood plasma. If we, however, hop into the ambulance and we press E to open the town base and we shift click on the first aid kit to assemble 3 at a time, once it is done assembling, we can see that we get a nice stack of 3 first aid kits in one slot. If we shift click on the trauma kits to assemble 3 trauma kits into the ambulance, we can see that once it's done assembling, we have 3 trauma kits taking up 1 slot, and the same goes for blood plasma. If we shift click and shift click again, we can keep stacking blood plasma. Bandages are stackable in almost all vehicles, including the ambulance, but that also includes things like the truck and the LUV and other vehicles. If you have 200 basic materials and a hammer, so if we press 1 to equip our hammer and we press B to open the build menu, we can see in the top row there is an option for a field hospital. If we click it, we get a blueprint. It will be yellow if we can place it, and if we hold down the right mouse button, we can turn the orientation around. If we're happy, we just left click, we get a blueprint. We walk up to the blueprint and start hammering in BMATs. Voila, field hospital. You see people lying on the floor like this. We can see that we can pick it up. So if we press V, that will pick up a critically wounded soldier. We can see it in the top left, critically wounded soldier. And what we want to do with critically wounded soldiers is we want to bring them to a field hospital or a normal hospital. So to find that, we press M to open the map. And if we look on the map, there should be a tiny cross icon over there. And and there is one over here. So if we go there, we can drop off this critically wounded soldier in the field hospital. We can see in the bottom left, it says press E to use the field hospital. Then in the actions panel, we click submit large item, and we can see that the critically wounded soldier is now in the inventory of the field hospital. And if we click the submit patient button, we can see that our critically wounded soldier went to one of the beds over here, and we can see it's the third one. If this timer runs out, it will yield shirts, and the shirts will appear here, and you can grab those shirts and bring those to a base.